is finally wrapped up and officially over. The Houston Texans, as well as all 31 other teams, done when it comes to the combine. But just because free agency is about to start, let's get into some details about this scouting combine. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of The Lead Houston, where it's all Houston all the time. You won't find anybody with more passion speaking about your favorite Houston sports teams than this guy right here. Astros, Rockets, Texans, I try to do it all. So go down in the comment section, guys. Let me know, how are y'all feeling about the scouting combine, everything with it. And look, there was a lot of content, especially Landry, Cody Stoops. They were there at the combine in Indy, so they drawed out a lot of content, and there's so much to digest there. And I'm going to try, in my best case, to give y'all some of that in right here in some of the details here, because after screenshotting a lot of their tweets, Texans meet with XYZ, Texans meet with YZX, Texans meet with ZYX, all these guys that they were meeting with. Ultimately, from what I noticed, the Houston Texans ended up meeting with, what we got, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yes, I'm doing math right in front of y'all. 24 plus 15, bam, 39. So about 40 guys that they met with at the scouting combine. 40, okay? And then of those 40, the Houston Texans decided to have 3 positions specifically that they decided to scout the most. What are those 3 positions? Before we get into that, the Houston Texans, their free agent needs and just their team needs overall. We know, and I think everybody can come to this conclusion and can agree to this, that the needs for this team, defensive line, wide receiver, and offensive line, those are the needs that are going to be having to be attacked for this Texans team. You can throw running back in there, but at the end of the day, I think those are the 3 biggest area of needs. DT, obviously, considering after that Eagles Super Bowl victory, like, we could just imagine what the Texans defensive line could be if it was into that level, specifically the interior defensive line. Then we can obviously understand the offensive line conversation. We don't know what's going to be happening in terms of the interior O-line. Lots of problems, lots of stuff happening there. And then we have the wide receivers. As we all know, we don't know what's happening. As of right now, Nico Collins and a bunch of ragtags. So we got to figure out how to figure this out. We have to fix it. Texans have to fix it. Nick Caserio has to fix it. They hired Nick Caley, new OC, and the Texans go into this scouting combine, and they decided that we're going to scout the offensive side of the ball the most. When you take a look at it, the offensive side of the ball, you're looking at 8, 16, 24, plus 4, 28 of those 40 guys the Houston Texans scouted or met with were on the offensive side of the ball. This isn't nothing, I think, surprising, considering Nick Caley is the new offensive coordinator. He's going to want guys that fit this scheme and that play his style of football. D'Amico Ryans will have a say, obviously, as we all heard. He talked about improving the pass protection and the offensive line specifically, trying to get guys that run his style of team play that he wants to run, obviously, the swarm mentality, trying to improve the wide receiver position and everything that comes with it. We know no Tank Dell, and again, a bunch of nobodies. And then after that, the tight end position is a big, dire need that we don't know what we have right now with Dalton Schultz. I don't know what you're getting from him. I'd love to say you get rookie year CJ Stroud Dalton Schultz, but I don't think that quite much happens. Nick Caley, tight ends coach, former tight ends coach, former fullbacks coach, former passing game coordinator, knows offensive line protection sets, knows everything that goes into tight end coaches' position roles. He's done it with New England, did it with the Rams. Like, this is all interesting, considering that of those 28 guys, the 3 most positions the Houston Texans met with were running back, wide receiver, and offensive lineman, specifically the interior offensive lineman. Of those 3, 8 running backs, 8 wide receivers, and 8 guards/centers. You could say 6 offensive linemen, two centers. Maybe Gray Zable's a center. Maybe he's a guard. Don't know where to categorize him there. So that's what it is when it comes to the numbers from the scouting combine for the Houston Texans. Meeting with the offensive side of the ball primarily seems to be the focus for the Houston Texans in this combine. I have no doubt that they can figure this out, and I have no doubt that Nick Caley was hired to do that accordingly so alongside D'Amico Ryans. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to shy away from the defensive side of the ball, but we all know when it comes to the defense, the teeth of this defense is intact. Like there is nothing pretty much changing from the starters from last year to this year. Yes, the Texans have to sign some depth guys, and that's going to happen. It's going to situate itself out. Yes, we love to inject some talent into that interior defensive line, maybe even grab another safety for D'Amico to play with, maybe another corner to bolster some depth issues. Like there's some things to figure out defensively, but those are more minor than when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. Nick Caley, remember, said he wanted to run the football. The Houston Texans, ultimately, when they're looking at these guys in the draft, they're looking at guys that are coming from Power 5 schools and captains and good quality character. Those are the three things the Houston Texans have looked into every single year. They have never drafted a non-Power 5 guy, so they have always drafted somebody from Power 5 schools, and they really love it when you're a captain on that team as well. Tyler Booker, captain. Travion Henderson, captain. Caleb Johnson, running back out of Iowa, captain. There's guys that have good, high quality. Travion Henderson, captain. I think I already mentioned him. Good quality character as well. And all of these guys are Power 5 guys. Expect the Houston Texans to lean heavily more into that. And I would say that maybe running back is more on the short list. Maybe it's a little higher than what I thought it was. And I have no problem with it. Running back is one of the deepest positions in this draft, alongside D-line and tight end. The Houston Texans know what they need going into the 2025 NFL draft. And I think there is no problem in focusing on the offensive side of the ball. Get that fixed, pair it up with the defense you saw last year, and this Texans team can well be on their way to their first ever AFC Championship game appearance. As always, guys, go Astros, go Rockets, go Texans. You have a blessed day.